people don't listen to us because we're young. But if it's a lot of us, people will listen to us. So I just feel like that's something that's really important. And I feel like a lot of people brush it off just because we're young.
Your tongue is like a weapon. Like a weapon against others and yourself. Like every rude word you say, it hurts. It just hurts.
Since I was young, I used to get bullied a lot, so I kind of use my anger or other people that I know that I could bully. And I was like really regretful because like I know I did some harm to other people, and that's like one of the things that I let go.
Being little doesn't mean you're powerless. At sometimes you may be small, but you're stronger than that. Cause you can tell by your faith. As long as you have faith in God, His power never leaves you.
Hey, and welcome to Y.O.U podcast. I am your host, Alicia, and today we have our guest,
Ziamonte.
Zari Matthews.
Antonio.
Today we'll be talking about the topic being an example, coming from 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 12. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. The first question I have for y'all is loving people who are hard to love. How do y'all feel about that topic? I feel like loving people who are hard to love, it can be challenging sometimes, but you do have to meet people where they at. Some people been through a lot of traumatic experience in life, and I feel like sometimes you just gotta understand it and love them no matter what. Not just because you feel like you have to, but because you understand them and you know what they're going through.
Loving people when it's hard to love?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like it's good even though it's bad to me, but even though your enemies don't love you, you should still love them.
Mm. Can you elaborate on that a little more?
What I'm saying is that you should love your enemies even though they don't love you.
Okay.
I say it's kind of difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through that road before, so. But she's right. I understand you might love your enemies, but still care for them.
Mm.
Even if they did something bad to you, you still care for them.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next question. What does real godly love look like? Not the worldly love, not no high school love. What does real godly love look like? I'll go first. I feel like real godly love looks like being truthful, being loyal, being honest with each other, communicating, not holding things in, praying together, going to church together, doing all those things. I feel like real godly love is a love that don't fail. Just like he says in the Bible, love is kind, love does not fail. I feel like it's a lot of worldly love, and I feel like we normalizing it now, and like we making it like it's okay, all this toxic stuff and all this, oh, I'm gonna keep going back, that's not real love. I feel like a relationship without God is not a relationship. Every relationship needs God in the middle of it. So that's how I feel.
You go first.
Most of the stuff you were saying is correct. Also, I feel like doing like Bible stuff with each other, and like as you said, praying with each other every day. Keeping it consistent, and also making promise to each other. And making a promise with each other and also with God as well. Because most people, they'll make a promise with each other, but not with God. You kind of have to, keeping God in the middle is like the only way to like keeping success to a good relationship.
Okay. So when you say making promises, what do you mean by that?
Like promises, like what I mean by like promises, I mean like promise to stick together until the very end.
I understand. That was good. Zarya?
Well, real real godly love is like having a relationship with God and praying every day and every night and telling telling your friends about him to make them Christians too. So that you show them that you love them and you want them to have a relationship with God too.
Antonio?
Whatever y'all said is correct, honestly, and not lying. But yeah, godly love is like it's like you having like a faithful connection with God. Like you want to like read the Bible more and learn more about Him, and like like learn how He created the world, and like check how did he start it off from the beginning and the end, to fully see why that you need to trust God in all your heart.
Okay. Next question. Does being young mean that you're powerless?
No.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
Um, being young doesn't mean you're powerless. It's like you have like certain like restrictions, but you have a voice and you can use your voice, and that can make you somewhat have power. Using your voice and being able to express and tell people how you feel. You know, you could be a young. It's a lot of young pastors. Out here that's probably like our age or even younger. That's even spreading the word and talking about God and how He created the world and um and but I feel like yeah, you don't have like
I agree. I feel like because we're young, a lot of people look down on us. Like, especially when we're in church. Oh, well, especially if we grew from like a past. Like, we probably had a bad past when we were younger. And we grew from it. Oh, she probably still doing the same thing she used to do. She ain't no godly person. She just doing this for an act. I feel like we get talked down on a lot. Like, a lot. Especially for a young person. I just think that we have power, and I feel like young people can change the world. We just got to come together and try. We just got to come together as one, just like God says. Two in a relationship has to bind as one. All of us have to come as one and just be able to, try to change the world. Because I feel like people don't listen to us because we're young. But if it's a lot of us, people will listen to us. So I just feel like that's something that's really important. And I feel like a lot of people brush it off just because we're young.
Well, just just because you're young doesn't mean that don't have any bravery to do stuff for yourself and for other people. So you could use yourself as an example, like for like telling people to believe in Jesus. And even though nobody believes that you can have that much bravery, you could still have that much bravery to tell people to believe in Jesus and stop fighting.
Antonio?
Being little doesn't mean you're powerless. At sometimes you may be small, but you're stronger than that. Cause you can tell by your faith. As long as you have faith in God, His power never leaves you.
Okay. I feel like this is a good question. What is the difference between peer pressure and God pressure? Okay. I feel like peer pressure, everybody know what peer pressure is. There's somebody pressuring you to do something that you don't want to do. You know it's not right, but you still do it because you being pressured by other people to do it. That's not something God would do. If God not gonna make you do nothing that's not right. So I feel like peer pressure versus God pressure is different in so many ways. I feel like God will pressure you to do something that you need to do, that you might not want to do, but God knows that you need to do. Like maybe if it's stay consistent in school, you ain't been going back to school, you don't want to do it, but God knows your plan. He wants you to go back to school. So he does that. Peer pressure is you out somewhere, you're not supposed to be doing nothing, smoking, drinking, but somebody be like, oh, just take a hit, take a shot, and you do it. Something bad end up happening because you did it and it wasn't right.
Most of yeah, what you're saying is true about peer pressure because most teens around that's going into high school are when you're coming to high school, most teens try to fit in with the crowd, which sometimes you have your good people that you're supposed to be around, and you have your bad people, and most of the times young teens as us goes into the bad side. They try to fit around, smoking, drinking, going outside, doing anything, to make themselves seem cool, but in the long run, it'll mess them up because it can either cause into addiction, and addiction and or hospitalized. Most teens also being pressured into joining the game because they have friends that might be in the game. They might peer pressure them like, oh, come with us, come in the game with us. You'll be good, you will good. But most of the times you gotta choose, you gotta watch out who you hang around with because most of the times people that call you like they be like, oh, you my friends. Most of the times they really don't be your friend. Sometimes there's always a reason somebody's around you. They don't really come around you. Sometimes you got people that come around you for good reason. You got people that come around for like bad reason. The bad reason, to use you or some they might like something that you have, but it's hard to see because they might do a lot of stuff for you, but there's always something behind it, really. But and for God pressure, I feel as as Alicia said, he most of the stuff you might not want you to do, he might want you to do, and you don't do it. It's like most of the things you don't want to do, but God wants you to do, and you don't do it. But he has your future. He knows what's gonna hold for you in the future, and he created your timeline. So it's like, but most people don't take the sign. They do something opposite, which end up hurting them in the long run. It could be a lot of things that can go wrong, but sometimes we just don't take the sign, or we may take the sign late, and you know, really that's what I think the difference is.
I think peer pressure. I think peer pressure is something like what Alicia said. Like you don't want to do what your friends are telling you to do, but you do it anyway. And God pressure is something that God that wants you to do, and you need to do it, but you feel like that you don't want to do it, but you have to.
Peer pressure. I understand you. It's I I've been dealt with peer pressure like a long time ago, but I've been through that. But now I've been dealing with God pressure, doing something that God wants me to do. So I'm keep holding to that. Peer pressure, I'm done with that.
What does the power of words mean? When somebody be like, "Hey, watch your mouth," when you say something. Like, let me go first. Um, um, I feel like the power of words means like, like when you say something that you may not think it means no harm, but you say it and it's like you speaking a word curse over yourself. Like if you laughing at something, you say I'm dead, or I'm crying, or I can't breathe, or something like that. You may not think it's harmful, but when you think about it, you speaking a word curse over yourself. Or if you say something like, "Oh, I can't do this. This too hard for me. I can't go up there." Or I can't, I'm not gonna pass this test. I'm not gonna do this. You speaking those word curses over yourself because you telling yourself and you putting it in your heart that you can't do something that you haven't even tried. That's something that's like, like the power of words, the power of the tongue. The tongue is like really, really hard, and it's like you can speak negativity not just over yourself, but over other people, but but over other people as well. I feel like you gotta watch what you say because even if you think it's okay to say, it's not okay to say because you're not thinking it in the moment. But when you come back, you be like, "Dang, I said this to them, and I didn't mean it like that." So, yeah.
I agree with what what you were saying of like, speaking word curses of because I know it's like a lot, you know, I wouldn't say I say it like I've done it before, speaking word curse on me. Like I say, oh I can't do this, oh I can't do that, and like in my head, it just changes how you think, basically. And another thing for power words, things that you say to people can change how they think. Like even though you might not mean no wrong or you mean no harm, it could also like change somebody. Like if you say something negative to a person, it can really change them or it can hurt their feelings. Like, and also it could be a good thing as well. Like if you could be a good thing. Say you speaking about God and you might know it can change somebody's life, and they choose they switch over from being not a non-Christian into being a Christian and loving God, going to church every day, praying and reading the Bible every day. So I feel like, yeah.
Well, I've done it before. Like when I was in fourth grade, I keep telling myself that I'm not gonna pass to fifth grade, but I passed. So, and the tongue is like a weapon against others and yourself. Like every rude word you say, it hurts. It just hurts. Like it every rude word you say, and then you can't just take it. You can't just take it back. It's just there now, and now you're like, oh, I can't take this back. I can't take this back. I didn't mean it like that.
I agree with her. Words as weapons. First, you just need to think before you say. And I mean, yes, it does. Uh, you just need to be careful about what you're saying. Cause if you don't think before saying, things will be in a wrong turn. So what I think about strong words like those is you just need to be careful. Just think first.
Okay. And the last question I'm gonna ask: what does it mean to be set apart? In my opinion, I'm not gonna say for sure, but I feel like it means like, what does it mean to be set apart from the world? Like, what does it mean to like remove yourself from worldly things like partying, going out, doing things that you know that are not of God? I feel like it means to like, it says what does it mean to live set apart. I feel like that means to like live in a godly manner. Some things that you used to do you can't do no more. In order to change your life around, you gotta set yourself apart from those people who still party, who still drink, who still smoke, who still do all those things that you know that are not of God. So you gotta set yourself apart from that and just separate. That don't mean don't love them no more. That just mean sometimes you just gotta take a step back from certain people because it's not your crowd no more, and try to get them to change and set apart with you as well and convert into being a Christian and being closer to God. How did you set your life apart from the world? What did you like let go of in order to get closer to God? Or what are some things that you started to do to start trying to, set apart from the world?
Last time I did was last time I did it was the other church that is not far away from here. I gave up like three. I gave up three things when I was young, but I forgot about it. It's been so many years. But hey, I didn't get them back. So I'm glad I just leave them as that.
What I gave up is the sadness, the frustrationness towards my siblings. I I let it go, so I couldn't hold the burden anymore. And I know I needed to let it go to trust God, so that's what I did.
For me, I say some things that I let go is, I really say like things I used to do, like since I was young, I used to get bullied a lot, so I kind of use my anger on other people that I know that I could bully, and those are, and I was like really regretful because like I know I did some harm to other people, and that's like one of the things that I've let go, like bad anger. I used to have bad anger issues, but you know, I learned to calm more down in situations other than just spazzing out and taking my anger on people. So and like so what I have done is like really just learn to be quiet, and just stay back. And another thing is move with a crowd. I used to move with a lot of people and like move as a crowd with people, and not looking at my surroundings. Me not looking at surroundings, it was like a bad incident that happened. But now that I'm more rare, and I'm like more of a like a I say like a person that just I'm a observer person now. Like I'm able to like see little things that most people wouldn't see and stuff like that. So those most of the things I gave up.
Looks good. I feel like even though it was kind of hard for y'all to talk, it still might be some things that y'all haven't let go of, and that's okay. You gotta understand on your journey with God, it's gonna take time. Not everything gonna be easy. I had to learn that. Especially trying to rush stuff, not having patience and stuff. So I definitely understand where everybody is coming from. So I thank y'all for this conversation. This was a great conversation. Thank you to Monte, Saria, and Antonio. And thank you to listeners. I'm your host, Alicia, and we will see you next time.